सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में, मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी, और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में कि अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है, वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया।
Hello and a very good morning and a good afternoon. We are in the midst, so using both to all of you and especially to the people who have joined us live on this webinar and watching us live on Facebook and YouTube. So once again, a very warm welcome to all of you who have joined us today on the special series. And this is one special series edition that we do every day at 12 o'clock. This is the time when we go live at 12 o'clock to bring a new business opportunity for yourself. And we call it Business Opportunity Overtime. Hosted by Franchise India Group, the management team of Franchise India, Mr. Gaurav Maurya, the chairperson of Franchise India Group, and Ms. Sonia Chaudhary, managing director of Franchise India. Franchise India is one organization which has been running very successfully for past 25 years. So what do? We are a bridge between an investor and the brand. So of course, investor is something because after the cure, during the or probably especially after the cure times, we see that entrepreneur mindset has really taken a leap, and people really want to start their own business. But which business to start is what the problem is. Probably this is where Franchise India takes a front seat, and we help others, investors like yourself, to pick up the right business for yourself. And we have a very systematic approach that we follow, and this is done through various tools and processes that we follow. One of them, which is a SOMF, where S would mean strategic means your interest, your passion. O would mean operations, how much time are you going to give to this business? M would the F would be the M would rather sorry would be that market fitment, how big the scope, how big the market is, and the fast is F, financial fit. Is it in your budget or not? So SOMF fit. We do this with a process of 25-point evaluations that Franchise India sits with you individually and help you pick up the right business. So friends, please use the Q&A box which is there, and we'll do a formal presentation, and post that we will start picking up your questions. Today, we're going to talk about a big industry which is absolutely taking a big leap and advantage. The brand that we're going to talk about would be Scoopy Scrub. Scrub, the pet grooming salon, Asia's largest and exclusive professional pet grooming parlor salon and a pet shop chain. The area requirement that would need would be 200 to 300 SFT. Investment starts as low as 4.7 lakhs. A brand which has been most awarded since past 2004, 51 plus franchisees that they're already running the outlet, already talks about the commitment and the support which is there. And we have presence all across, not only in India, but also Mauritius and Bangkok. And today we are so lucky to get the founder, the CEO himself, Mr. Sanjeev Kumar. Mr. Sanjeev Kumar is somebody who has created this legacy since ages. And now today he will be telling us the business opportunity that we have with his brand. तो संजीव जी बहुत 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 स्वागत है आपका इस बिजनेस अपॉर्चुनिटी ओवर चाय पे एंड Sanjeev ji, before I invite you, or while I invite you, I really want to ask you, every business has to actually be a problem solver. The business has to be a problem solver. So Sanjeev ji, I'm absolutely sure that you would have found a problem in the market, and that's what really got you this brand coming to the market as well. So tell us the story. What is the story behind ये idea कैसे आया आपके दिमाग में? Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, Saras. Good afternoon, everybody watching us live, and as you would see this later as well. So yeah, you said it rightly. There has to be a need and a requirement. But prior to that, what the background, the element where we come from is, I used to be a banker. I was a senior banker. My wife was a teacher, and we always had pets, even much before marriage. And not knowing that we'll connect in a bond and get married and share the same passion that we have for pets. So when this came across, and with a 13-year career, which I put down, in banking segment, to start what is the pet loving element that we had. We have had pets all the time. Why? Became very, very essential because, we had hairy breeds all the time. And even while going to the vet, they will do a shabby job of, crazy haircuts, wherein we will not want to, probably walk our pets on the streets after that, getting embarrassed with the bad haircuts. So we, at some point of time, tried these things ourselves at home as well. And then realized that, we are doing an equal bad job. So that is where the idea kicked in. And, I was out from my banking hours, late lunch. As you know, banking always takes away all the time. And late lunch at 4 o'clock from my N47 branch in CP. And I had moved out towards a place. Everybody is watching over here, but people from Delhi know where Shankar Market is and Connaught Place is. So I just wandered off into Shankar Market, which is very famous for very, very reasons. And I realized for the first time in my life of probably a good 35 or 36 years, I had never seen a pet shop, rather not 32 years. I am losing track of my age. But then again, we had not seen a pet shop ever. All we had seen was probably a doctor, which is required for the rabies vaccination at that point of time. Now there are a certain set of vaccinations that are further been added. But at that point of time, it was just the rabies shot. So doctor ke paas jate the, and doctor would have a few things for the pets, and that's about it. We had never seen a pet shop. So obviously I got in, I picked up stuff for my pets. In those days, with a 16 rupees outgoing call from a mobile, I called up my wife and said, this is an idea, and why don't we get into this? That's how it all started. Within the first 3 months, my wife had been taking a break for our first child from her schooling. She took the lead, and we opened up Pet Bytes. Under Pet Bytes, so Pet Bytes is the parent company, and under Pet Bytes, we were providing all kinds of services, including grooming. And then we decided to go a professional way on into this, and hence came about across Scoopy Scrub, and we went abroad and did our courses and brought in the brand that now India knows.
Interesting, Mr. Sanjeev ji, and probably I must say that you have gone through the pain, and probably that's a story that really built it up from 1 to 2, and probably sitting at a great opportunity. Thank you so much. And friends, I just want to request you, let's make it interactive. If you're really interested in this kind of industry, and if you have your own place, do mention the place, locations, and if you, the investment that you're looking for. And of course, if you would be interested in starting a business, any questions that you have, please post the questions here, and we'll take them up after the formal presentation. So let's move to the formal presentation, Sanjeev ji, and with your permission, can I share the screen, and
yes,
you can just walk us through the formal presentation itself. So let me do that for you, please. Here we go.
Perfect. So obviously, this is a wholesome element. And before we can move ahead, I will give you a little bit of a background which gets into this. So obviously, having told the element that why we got into this and the love and the passion, but then again, I've been personally working for the pets in street dogs and community pets is now what we call them on various formats and for the last 32 years of my life. So ever since, we have been taking care of a lot of pets on the streets and working with a lot of NGOs. But obviously, as we know, passions don't run homes, and we had to make some business sense out of this. So this is where things came along. In as much as everything that we do is you will see probably. I hope I can throw across the passion that we have in this presentation, or the services that we have and the brands that we are. So it's all about passion. It's not about the money game. It's not about all those things. But yes, everything has to probably make business sense for us to be able to survive, because charity begins at home. We need money to be able to do charity later. So we have to do charity with ourselves first and then look beyond. And likewise, for everybody watching this, yes, it has to make good business sense and a good business opportunity for you. And if at all you are a pet lover, it will be the best thing that can happen to you. Yeah. So fun and business together normally does not happen. Here you can make it happen. But you should not get stopped. If at all you're not a pet lover, you do not have to have, because we have various options and formats. And if at all that. So this is a wholesome thing that we say. Obviously, we started with Pet Bytes, and why we represent those 4 brands over there is, and point out the arrows, it goes around in the circle. So what happens is that everybody that gets connected to one particular element will get connected to everything that we have, which is related with pets. So yeah, Pet Bytes, I've already spoken about, is the parent company. That's where we started. So it's a pet food and accessories chain and the largest of it. And then we introduced Scoopy Scrub, obviously, wherein we have services which are offering grooming and other things. And later on, as we kept on interacting with our customers and people, everybody, obviously you were saying that why not have bakery stuff? Why not have cafes? Why not have other things? So then came about Licious. So Licious, as you would know, we own this brand in the segment for pets, and the other Licious that you know for humans is a different segment, different brand. Yeah. But then again, we came around in 2013. And the other brand, which you know for humans, has come around in the last 2-3 years. So please don't get confused over there. Pet handlers is guard dogs and handler services. And then you see that, anything and everything that you can relate with and require for your pets, we will provide under one umbrella. So whether, we are stylists, we do portfolios, event managers, we have done countless of the biggest pet events in India, fashion shows for pets, rain dances, whatever you can call it. And then obviously we are behaviorists and dietitians and pet bakery. So everything that you require for your pet can be made available under one roof. So yeah, we are now entering in the 20th year. If at all, we can move on to the next screen. So this is a little brief about us. So obviously my wife quit her career as a teacher. I quit my career as a senior banker. And here is where we came up across with these brands. And obviously, I also, as you can see, it's mentioned, I'm a TV anchor as well. So I anchor the one very, very, the only program in pets in India with the national channel. And it's an award-winning program. So it's also won an award from the broadcasting agency in India. And yes, countless awards, as you can see. Even from Franchise India, we have been recognized in this particular category as India's leading or rather best franchisee chain for pet supplies and salon. So yeah, I won't talk about much on the awards that we have won because they are countless. So we'll move on and continue a little depiction of the show, of the award and the winnings. Yeah. So there are other accomplishments also. We have been recognized right from the starting on various platforms. So we never knew that, we will become famous doing these things, because all we wanted to do is provide a haircut, provide a treatment of ticks and fleas to the suffering pets that we have at our homes. Because many a times earlier, all these things were not known. all we used to do is doodh roti khilate the hum apne pets ko. So doodh roti is not the only thing, and there's a bigger world to it now, which is there in India, because India is one of the leading markets in the world. And yes, everything is available. So you can see our accomplishments over there. But then again, we were able to bring across these things to the limelight just because we started getting covered. So as I said, we never knew. So one fine day, obviously, some news, I guess Indian Express covered us, saying that, a banker turned groomer. And that's where the media started realizing that there's something called pet grooming. And then that came into the limelight, and every week, 10 days, there was some or the other coverage. And that has helped the Indian market grow, because seeing us on the TV, seeing us and reading us about us in the news, people started picking up on the element. Yeah, and so will be depicted in the next slide. Yeah, so we are the most awarded. So those were that aspects. And then again, quickly on our strength. So obviously we are there in 23 states. Now further growing and union territories. This presentation says 55 branches, but then again, over the last 2 days, we have been able to finalize 2 more branches. So we are now 57 branches and further growing. So yes, it gives you a little bit of idea of all the locations that we are available in. And yeah, we always say at Pet Bytes and Scoopy Scrub, it's all about love. So we'll always want to partner, we'll always want to be with people who want to innovate, bring across newer things, and also the love should be carried on for our 4-legged ones. So that's what is what we are there. Yes, we are in all these locations across India. And now for Goa, we have signed up a master franchisee as well. And South India, we are coming up big with at least another 25, 30 locations through another partner who is tied in with us. And that will be news really soon. Yeah, so we as humans, when we interact with each other, even our mother, father, brother, sister, family, friends, there's something or the other we always look for in the relationship. You will always experience if you've had a pet or you will enter this particular field. Yeah, so this gives you a little more clarity on what all locations we are there in. So yes, I'll be in Rajasthan, we have a branch. This is obviously the first franchisee we had in Rajasthan. Then all the states as mentioned. And we are now also in discussions with at least about good 350 plus locations, out of which at least about 30 locations will be international, and about 300 or 320 plus locations will be within India. So we are very close to finalizing things in Australia, 2 branches in Australia and also in Dubai. So that's going to be happening soon, and many more branches across India, as I've said. But then again, when we started, we almost reached up to 13 branches. So currently we have 51, and plus the locations that are freshly getting added. But 5 are our cell phone locations, which used to be about 13. So we went up to about 13 branches in Delhi NCR with ourselves. And we realized that, obviously we were not making the very sense out of how the passion used to come around. Because we can't be there at these 13 locations all the time. So maximum under franchisee, either there's a team of people from the family who is managing everything, or otherwise we limit the element. So between me and my wife, then we decided to cut down our own branches and give them away as franchisees. Because for people who own pets, the pets are not just pets. You can't, if at all, there's a true pet lover, and aapne agar bol diya ki aapka kutta, aapka dog, so they'll say, how dare you? And wo bolenge, ye mere bacche hain. So, we talk about, your kid, your pet, your house member. So these are the terms. So ardent pet lovers go crazy after all these things, and we respect that as well. But then again, yes, pets do become part of our lives, and they are family. And yes, a lot of families treat them the best and the best that they can provide as they provide themselves. So besides Delhi NCR, where we have about 11, 12 branches, now adding 2 more really soon. We have the largest presence further down in Telangana, several locations with 2 branches each, and more to come across. Goa, I've already mentioned, there's a master franchisee. And Ludhiana, Punjab, we have a nice presence. So across, right from the north to the south to east and west, we have a present right up till there in Arunachal Pradesh, Itanagar. Unfortunately, we had finalized one branch in Manipur, which is not going ahead at this point of time because the state over there, the conditions. I hope things get better for people in Manipur and we move ahead further over there. And yes, we have a branch in Mauritius and an affiliated branch in Thailand. So the pet market, which is there, the size, just to give you an idea, this is only a rough idea. Obviously, we would have never thought that, these big numbers are actually existing. So the estimated market value in the last analysis, which was done in 2021, it is 232 billion. And yes, forecasted for 26 is 332 billion, almost, a hike of a billion over there in dollars. Yes, this is dollars, obviously. But I see it's going to be much more than that. It's going to be, contributing a huge number to that growth factor. So compound annual growth at this point of time is 7.5%. We were talking about 2021. So when I say at this point of time, in reference at this point of time is 2021. Regions covered or across. So I've picked up these numbers through those various surveys that happen on various levels. We'll move to the next. So giving you an idea of the Indian pet market. So Indian pet market obviously is currently estimated at 7.4 crores, should be anywhere about 8.5 or almost 9 by now, as we see. Because what happened in the COVID times, COVID, we are not able to relate many good things that we can talk about during the COVID times. And I hope the world recovers from it very, very soon. A lot of countries have taken up and we are moving ahead, but still there are a few countries suffering. But yes, the only thing good that happened in this particular time was the pet ownership jumped and people were able to share love and their passion and the compassion that the pet could pass on to them in closed four walls of the houses. So in the last 3 years, almost the pet population across the world has gone up, but in India, it's tripled. Yeah. So obviously, it's projected to be about 21,000 crores by 2032 in INR. But yeah, I again say that, it's going to be much more. But pet population has definitely grown, not just on the streets, because we are working on the streets and we are trying to control the pet population on the streets. But then again, within our homes, a lot of pets have been adopted. We are working for adoptions of the street dogs. So it's not about all the fancy pets that we always talk about. Our indies are the best pets to get. So those also found homes in this particular time. What is the market size? The market size in India at this point of time, obviously, 40%, 1% of the people in India did not own a pet in 2021. Yeah, and you can see the growth that happened. And this is going to further grow because obviously India is progressing in various ways. But then again, right or wrong, there's a lot of progress in this factor of nuclear families as well. And with nuclear families and the working systems that we have, a lot of times people plan their children a little later, like the US and UK, and they decide to get a pet and give everything to that pet as they would have given to the child, and treat the pet as a child and as a house member. So yes, all segments, including the pet food market, is growing and is over $310 million at this point of time. So the rise of ownership, I've already spoken about. And in the last 3 years, there's been a crazy number, which has gone up and further to shoot up. Yeah. The future of the pet industry, obviously, is very, very bright and is going to be moving up. And I think sufficient on that. So yeah, we'll come to the next slide. So these are the 3 primary brands besides Scoopy Scrub. As I said, Pet Bytes is a brand which provides, a lot of times when we say a pet shop, people get mixed up with the element of live pets. So we are not into live pets at all. One, if at all, should get associated with that element. There are proper licenses to be taken and to go the right and legal way across. Yeah, so we don't recommend that pet selling and all these things under our brands. But then again, you can always do it in a legal process. And once anybody connects with us, we can expand on that more. Till then, yes, we should always look at getting the pets which are there on the streets, our community dogs, and open our hearts and give them a home and provide the best. So Licious, I've already spoken about. Pet Handlers are the other 2 brands that we have. And we take this all in a stride. Yeah. So what India required also, at that point of time was guard dog services. And so the T3 terminal, also several embassies and a lot of farmhouses, which are personal farmhouses, and a few factories also. We were and we are taking care of. So T3 terminal is not there with us, but then again, for a very long time, almost 4 to 5 years, we were taking care of the sniffer dogs. Our sniffer dogs used to go over there. So there's a huge requirement. And then again, in 2010, so there's a long process how a pet becomes a sniffer dog or a guard dog or a trained assistant dog. But then again, people, what we see in movies, aapne kuch bhi sukha diya and the dog tracks it down. Doesn't happen like that. There's a long process. In 2010, with the Commonwealth Games, in 5 to 7 days, we were asked for almost about 300 to 400 dogs. And we didn't even have 10 to provide at that point of time. Yeah, because everybody wanted to pose a dog in the mall, in spaces, in offices. And yes, so this is still a field which needs further more focus. And just to give you one idea, to train a sniffer dog, it takes almost about good 1.5 to 2 years. And it's amongst a lot of 20 pets that are trained. And then you arrive at 1, 2, 3 of them, which could actually work as a sniffer dog and are the bright ones. The rest, all of them go into different lines and get adopted. A guard dog almost takes about a year of training before becoming a guard dog. So it's a long process. Yeah. So moving on. About Scoopy Scrub, obviously, we started in 2004 with Pet Bytes and realized that several services are required. And so we were providing grooming right from then. But then again, at that point of time, the grooming which was being provided is still, check over there, the grooming that we are providing in 2004 was a basic grooming. And that's still what all the other brands are providing. And a haircut and a wash is what everybody wants to call grooming. But the grooming, a haircut and a wash is not just the G of grooming, if at all you ask me, and we'll see a little few depictions later. But 2 of the pets over there, that's an Irish setter with my wife and myself, and that's a standard poodle over there. So these are different styles of pets. As we move along the slides, you will see other slides which will show you other elements of grooming as well. But then again, just to give you a little bit of idea, we put in these photographs here. So yeah, in 2007, we were ready and we knew that we had to do this in a proper fashion with professional training. So we went abroad, did our courses, and hence Scoopy Scrub was born. And thereon, obviously, we've moved and we have the branches and the growth. And obviously, we don't talk about turnovers. We don't know about all those things because, yes, we should be priced at an X price, which we'll come to later. But then again, as I said, we go with passion, we go with love. And we are the largest grooming salon chain and the only certified grooming salon chain till date. So a lot of people who have entered this field have only assumed this particular element to be just a haircut and a wash, which obviously is not. We also realize that, we cannot reach everywhere. We cannot be everywhere. And once we are wanting to franchise, then obviously we need to have the certification element. So to own our franchisee, either the owner or somebody from the owner side, or otherwise anybody can take a person from us. But a certified groomer is required to have a Scoopy Scrub location. Pet Bytes, you do not need a certification. You only need a little bit of training from our side. So one can obviously go for a Scoopy Scrub franchisee, a Pet Bytes franchisee, or Scoopy Scrub and Pet Bytes franchisee put together. Yeah. So we don't do classroom teachings. Anybody who learns with us actually learns with at least about 100, 150 dogs, definitely a few cats, and then again, all the other kinds of pets. So we are the only grooming brand that provide grooming services, not just for dogs, cats, hamsters, guinea pigs, rabbits, all these come to us for grooming. And yes, we get some macaws and big birds also, which come across for nail filing and ear cleaning. So yeah, that'll be surprising for you, but yes, that happens. So this gives you a little idea geographically, how we are placed on the map. So the newer white portions with the paws are the newer branches, and there are only a few states. The colder ones, we may or may not, get a branch immediately. But then again, we are discussing with branches in McLeodganj and all the other colder areas as well, in further northeast as well. So that's going to be happening because now all places, obviously, pet ownership has gone up. So yeah, this is where we are on the Indian map. Coming to the element that I was talking about. So yeah, don't get led away by the dog. Yeah, no, there's a quick one up on the last screen, which I was saying. So there's a dog which is there on the human. So obviously That doesn't happen in our parlors. It's the other way around, and we don't have to tie down the dog. We don't have to do other things. Sadly, just because the unprofessional element across India, a lot of the places, even a few veterinarians, with all due respect to them, because vets are there to save the lives, but then again, they who have not, because they are trained veterinarians, they are trained medical experts, but they're now groomers. So a lot of places it's heard that, sedation is done for dogs and they are sedated, behosh karke fir unko kaam kiya jata hai. At our places, there's nothing such. We work with the pets by handling them rightly, not by tying them, by holding them down. So if at all, we have to hold a pet, because a pet does not know what grooming is till the day you've introduced the pet to the grooming. So we educate, we go on various platforms and we are doing this. So when you're getting a pet at the age where you're getting the pet at home, grooming starts that day, right from brushing at home. And not one fine day that you've decided, oh, this is Scoopy Scrub on an ex-parlor, we need to get a bath for the dog or a haircut for the dog. And that's when you've not even brushed the dog for the last 8-10 months or 2 years of his life. And suddenly you decide for grooming. So yes, the pet takes 2-3 visits to get used to, but then again, our handlers, our groomers, are experts in handling and holding them rightly and providing the service. So this is a before and after. The top right corner, top left corner, you can see the hairy breed, which is obviously one of the favorite breeds in India. It's a Shih Tzu. So you can see how the pet came across to us and how the pet went from our side. So this is before and after on a Shih Tzu. This is a Yorkshire Terrier. Then underneath that is a Schnauzer. So these are all international set standards. People who are having non-hairy breeds may be thinking, oh, it's just about for the hairy breeds. No, not at all. Even us, Saras over there, no pun meant, and me myself, who have got very, very less hair at this point of time, we also need attention for the very same reasons, and we have to take care of our skin and our hair. So even the small coat dogs do require the fact of grooming. So if at all you can compare one particular element of a bath, if at all you shampoo your hair at home and you get across to a salon for yourself and get a shampoo over there, there is a difference. You will see or always experience, and it'll always leave you with a very, very good moment once you get out of a salon yourself. That's what happens with pets, and obviously there's a professional element to it. So when I was talking about all these breeds, we'll still stay with the last slide, sorry, Saras. So when I was talking about these breeds, Schnauzer, Bedlington Terrier, Airedale Terrier, Scottish Terrier, there are various men over there. So somebody at some point of time when the breed came across, introduced these styles of haircuts. So all these breeds are hairy, but then again, each of them have a different style, as you can see. So that's an international standard. And we are the only ones who are providing breed specific styling in India. Yes, we do provide massages for pets also. Yes, we do massage pets, and we do provide coloring for them as well. And there are various things that you can think about which are grooming related, we provide. So again, I repeat, it's not just a haircut and wash. All the other places that you may have visited as a pet owner or may visit will always tell you, oh, chota kar dete hain. Garmi aa gaya, chota kar dete hain. That ways, with all due respect to all women, I would never want that. I always love how long hair, but then again, people will always want to go for shorter hair and suggest that. Women have in India longer hair, and longer hair should be maintained. Similarly, either go for a pet which has got a short hairstyle or a coat, or go, if you're going for a breed which is a hairy breed, then maintain it, not just chop it off. Yeah. And with that, a little bit of depiction on the next slide also, where you can see the various groomings that have been done. Yeah. So underneath this, obviously, where I'm holding this pet, there's a toy poodle, which I'm holding up to my face. And next to it, you can see the Bedlington Terrier. So the Bedlington Terrier, this is one of the most difficult groomings in the world. And yes, we do it. Yeah. So moving to the next slide. Why us? Very quickly, not taking too much of a time, so that we can have some question and answer session. Also, if all you have questions, I'll now move on to these elements. We are covering these factors of pet grooming, pet food, pet merchandise, pet training, and whatever you can think of. So yes, if all you want to send your pet from here, let's say Delhi to Chennai, we do it. From Chennai to New York, we do it. So all these elements, we do designer kennels, whatever you can think of, we provide. Yeah, so we are the strongest, and we have a reputation on that front. And yes, we have a lot of celebrity dogs that come across to us. And we are obviously in Delhi NCR, we are catering to about 57 embassies pets also. So even the US ambassador's dog comes across to us at one of our branches. So yes, we provide the international standard is what I'm trying to suggest here. Yeah. So a little bit of depiction. And then again, yes, this comes across to a screen, obviously. One of the biggest brands in India with the gentleman with the mic over there is Raghav Modi. So we obviously were the ones who helped in launching the Pets It Go way back, almost a decade back now. In the center, you can see my wife over there. So she curated everything. And this was a page 3 fashion show that we organized in the DLF Promenade. Yes, in a mall. Yeah, wherein it's written, dogs and guns not allowed. So yeah, we have done the biggest of events in malls, in center spaces. And now very soon, the culture is changing. So in metros, it's already happening. If not, you're carrying a small pet with you, you can even go shopping, and the biggest of brands will not stop your dog. Yeah. And so much so now canine cafes and other things are happening. So yes, as the coverage on us, we are the only brands who have been written about in 176 countries in a single day. So the coverage, if I say a Times of India or a HT as mentioned, so Times of India, we would have been there, what, 30, 40, 45 times, and each respective platform. So it'll be very awkward for me to start mentioning how many times we have been there in the news. But then again, we are the most covered brands across the world. Yeah, so the initiatives very quickly. So as I mentioned already, we started the first pet bakery, obviously the very first pet grooming salon, certified grooming and elements. The very first element of having all kinds of pet products under one unit, because, you know, normally it used to happen, if at all there was a pet shop. And let me give you a small aspect on that also, which I've forgotten to say earlier. Way back in 18, 19 years when I started, and now I was there on an international platform connecting the two elements. So what a gentleman from an expert aspect commented on us that, you know, we have been able to provide to India in 18 years what would have happened in 80 years. And that's the kind of growth we have been able to, you know, bring across. So probably a few bricks in the wall on that front. So 18 years back, there used to be only about 4 or 5 pet shops in the whole of Delhi NCR. And across India, maybe about 25, 30. That's about it. And now there are over 2 lakh pet shops, more than 2 lakhs rather. So that's how much of a growth that has come across. And this industry is growing day by day. So yes, the very first pet bakery, the pet handling services, pet walking services. The latest that we are introducing is pet sitting services also, which is very, very popular abroad. Pet transportation, birthday parties, weekend outings, designer kennels, pet photography, much, much more. So the franchisee essentials, that's what you've been waiting for. So yes, what do we look for? What do we look for in the franchisee owner? The location, the qualification, and must training, as I have already said. So we always say this is not just a business. Yes. So we need a little bit of love and passion for this. But then again, the elements that we look for in anybody is that a lot of times I'm asked, you know, what qualifications do we require? So the only qualification you require is you have to be a pet lover. If at all you're getting into this element, it'll always be so much more to life that will add. Quickly on the franchisee essentials. So what's the franchisee fee? Though, as I said, you know, we should be positioned in a different segment. But, you know, we chose to go ahead in this fashion. So we should be priced anywhere about, for a metro city, about 40, 45, 50 lakhs. For a grade 2, grade 3 cities, likewise, 30 lakhs, 20 lakhs. But yes, we decided to just go with the basics. And this is where we are. So, you know, for a grade 1 city or a metro city, we are at 2.5 lakhs one time, not every 2 years, 3 years. You don't have to go on paying us. Yeah, we're not here for all that money. We are here for a relationship and for a business to flourish for you, and for services to reach people. And similarly, for a metro, you know, which is a non-metro element, you can go ahead with a 2 lakh rupees. So that's a fixed franchisee fee over there. There's a refundable security deposit of 30,000 rupees and 50,000 rupees respectively. But I can assure you, you will never ask for a refund. So you can total up with a 0.1. Yeah, so you will never, because everything is going to be flowing fine, and not a single franchisee has been shut down has shut down on its own. 2 places I had to withdraw our franchisees because obviously the owners, which had done the grooming courses themselves, they were not present to do the grooming and they had left it on the staff. So that's where we pulled down those 2 franchisees. So must is there should be a certified trained groomer at all times to be present to be taking care of the children that visit us for grooming. The training cost is 1.6 in all 3 cases. What are the 3 cases? Whether you do the grooming course yourself or you send across a person or I send across a person, we are providing a training and certification to the person. So 1.6 is going to be the training cost, and there's going to be a certified grooming course provided and a certification provided under the grooming course. Yeah. So currently we train out of Delhi. We are in process of setting up an institute in Delhi NCR as well as in Pune. So that will further add to the very elements. Yeah. The equipment's required. Equipments become your assets. So obviously, there's nothing hidden over here. What we have, what we are is clearly depicted and is evident. So a lot of times we talk about a franchisee and not about the equipment, not about the training costs. So everything has been included. Why it's been obviously segmented is so that you can choose the elements to go along how you want to. We do not make it mandatory for you to pick up the equipment from us. We're not into small time commission making. So you're free to pick up the standard of equipments required for professional grooming from anywhere or otherwise through us. Yeah. So the other things which are attached, we are not into profit sharing. So we're not into 20%, 80%, 30%, 70%. We are at a fixed royalty fee, which is a token royalty fee of about 5,000 rupees for non-metros. And NCR metros, we are at 10K. So what? If all it's, as I was explaining to you, Shih Tzus, just about 4 of them or 3 of them groomed will be about 5,000 rupees. And about 4 to 5 German Shepherd sized dogs or Golden Retriever sized dogs, you are taken care of on the 10K if you're in a metro. So it's nothing substantial. It's only a very small element that gets taken care of in what half days of work. Yeah. Space required if you're going ahead with any one of the elements, either a Pet Bytes franchisee or a Scoopy Scrub franchisee, you just need 200 square feet to have one of these. But again, if you have to have both elements together, then you should have 300 square feet plus. Safely speaking, 300 to 350 is a good basic space to go ahead with. But then again, we have formats right from 200 square feet to about 20,000 square feet. So like right from there to boarding lodging centers to other elements, we provide everything. And if you have space, we can help you use it in various different ways. Yeah. Coming to the, when we are there on this platform, we'll always talk about ROIs and, what's the return over investment and, whether I'm making profits, mere paise ka kya hoga, kitni jaldi wapas aayega, all these things become very, 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 very essential. But I would want to put it in 2 different ways. If all it's a Pet Bytes franchisee, there's a 35%. Yeah, as we have mentioned. When it's Scoopy Scrub, service-oriented elements, it's, a shampoo bottle that we buy and use for home is at an X price. But the same shampoo we can use at home at, probably 10 times over. But if we go to a salon, the prices that you're getting charged. That's your scope of margin. So it'll be very, very awkward for me to put it that there's 200, 300, 400% margin over there. But again, that's what it is. So yeah, if all you get into this business space, you will be probably breaking even within the first 2-3 months itself. And one is free to check our website, to check with the Franchise India team. Call up any of my franchisees. Not growing profits. Yeah. So franchisee essentials on this front, obviously this is more to related with the course element, people who connect with us, who want to do the courses themselves. So it's split into 2 aspects, which is basic level and advanced level, wherein it's 4 hours a day, 6 days a week. We can do it in a faster pace for people who are coming from outside Delhi and squeeze that into a month's time and a little bit of, experience gaining space. Yeah. So depending on the city, if there's somebody from the grade 2, grade 3, not grade 2, grade 3 or grade 4 cities, smaller towns, and want to get into this. Yeah, because we are getting to very, very small towns. Now, Hisar is, we are into finalizing, a branch in Hisar. So Hisar, for a location like this, we will even look at relaxing the royalty fee for a few months so that, it always helps establishment. And yes, in case of a franchisee wants to open a salon and a pet shop, as I've already mentioned, both the brands will be offered, but then again, only one brand. Scoopy Scrub, there will be a financial element involved. For Pet Bytes, for you to gain the benefits. So let's say for pedigree, so we are saying of degree, but now by somebody wants to top element and take off lovers can do the courses. Yeah, so our course alone will be at a certain price as mentioned. Yeah. So moving on very quickly to the next slide. The certified grooming courses that we are established, and we are the only ones who are providing certified grooming courses in India. Other locations do, obviously, there are 2-3 other locations who have started providing courses after us. But then again, that's not a detailed course. Either they are doing a 5-6 days introduction element, you cannot learn in 5-6 days, or otherwise they're doing classroom teaching. So yes, we're working for a better tomorrow. We are educating school children not to hate, not to bother the pets on the street, and to have mutual respect for life. And yes, the core team. So obviously we always say take care of take care of our pets. And if at all we treat them, and they we are now open. Yeah, if at all we can close to the last slide, please. Yeah. So welcome to the pet paradise, which is pets and us.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Sanjeev. Wonderful presentation it was. And probably I'm myself.
Over to you, Saras.
Yeah. So thank you, Mr. Sanjeev, for a wonderful presentation. Although I'm a pet lover, I do have a pet, the third generation, probably now, the third time. However, I'm sure the grooming part especially was so interesting for people that was so cute that they would also eventually become. So friends, thank you for watching us. And now we are open for question and answer. I see already a couple of questions which are listed there, which I'll take one on one. However, I will also request you to please put your questions on the Q&A box, and we'll start taking these questions now onwards. Yes. So quick summarization of the business operations that we learned today. So first, we have learned, especially after COVID, that the love for the pets have really increased, especially because of the awareness which is there. So typically, I would say there are 5 major reasons why somebody should invest in industry of pets grooming, especially is why one, different sources of revenue. So first reason is growing pet industry. The second is recurring revenue stream that you get when you open a center like this. High profit margins that we really studied about this brand. Upselling opportunities are absolutely there when you have a grooming center and even the items are being sold there. And of course, it's about love, relationship building, and customer loyalty is bringing up. So friends, a great brand which is now having 57 branches in total in 23 states. Investment typically looks like the first part was 5.9 to 6.6 lakhs, and of course, a low investment model where the franchise fee ranges from 2 to 2.5, depending on the metro and the non-metro. Security deposit of 30 to 50,000 only. I would rather say depending again on tier 2 or tier 1 metro or non-metro cities.
30,000 and 50,000.
Yes, 30 and 50,000. Thank you.
Yeah, that's 30,000 rupees and 50,000 rupees. And once, if I'm not, I hope I'm not interrupting you. One thing on Pet Bytes, if somebody wants to get into the So the stocks initially that will be required in the space that we have suggested will be anywhere about just about 2.5 lakh rupees of stocks, and they can start with the stocks and then have the rotational benefit from our side. So under, let's say 10 lakhs, people can have the grooming parlor element and the pet shop element put together with a little bit of shelves and other things that are required to be put. So under 10 lakhs, both these things become workable.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So, well, yes, because if you're doing a business, you of course have to look at the revenue sources with different revenue sources. And probably I have to say that with starting one business, you're getting associated with 4 different brands with Mr. Sanjeev. So, friends, let's pick up some questions which are eagerly waiting. And I have Mr. Jeevan who's saying how many outlets you have in Rajpur location, Nagpur location?
In Nagpur currently we have I heard you right? Nagpur?
Yes, Nagpur and Nagpur, right?
Yeah. So Nagpur currently we have 1 location, and they are going to be multiplying. They're going to be opening another branch really soon. And queries are there from 3 other places in Nagpur, and that also at least another one should mature really soon. But yes, Nagpur can easily have about 3 to 4 branches very easily, as I understand the city.
Well, absolutely. So, friends, we are listening out, and by the time he was creating the presentation, or 2 more were sold out. But before I come to the question of Mr. Jeevan, I would like to ask you, there were 57 branches that you're talking about. How many of them are franchise and how many are yours?
Perfect. So currently out of 57, there are 52 locations which are franchise locations, and 5 locations are our self-owned, with 4 of them in Delhi NCR and 1 of them in Bombay. So we have 5 self-owned locations, and yes, all those locations are further looking at multiplying.
Lovely. Well, absolutely, Mr. Sanjeev and friends, for us, it becomes a lot of conviction power because although we heard there are 57 branches, but again, 52 are franchisee-owned, franchisee-operated. That really gives a lot of satisfaction that it is especially the ease of business, which is one, which has really made it a process-driven part. And second is the margins, which is there because the multiplication is happening, especially with the people who already own one. Am I right?
Definitely.
Okay. So let's come to Mr. Jeevan's question, investment and ROI. I think we all discovered that part. But again, Mr. Jeevan, shall you need some more details in depth? We'll be more than happy to do a one-on-one conversation and get all your questions answered. Mr. Jeevan is asking, of course, about the operational expenses, which we did not. So, Mr. Sanjeev, can you also talk about some operational expenses? How many people are required, the average salaries versus income?
Surely. Yes, this is why I did not mention, obviously, earlier, is that I wanted somebody to ask this very, very specifically, because this is the crux of everything. Yeah. So we always talk about, so what I do is when we talk about ROI and the investment element and everything, I would want to, depict it in a different manner. Put your capital expenditures on one side. So having invested, having established, obviously then you have to see it's income over expenditure or expenditure over income, right? So the operating costs will give you an example of 350. So one thing very evidently, which I want to put forward is you do not have to be in main, moving, popular markets. Yeah. Don't have to pay crazy rentals. So I'll talk about the expenses first, and then I'll talk about the incomes. So the expenses, obviously, the first thing becomes, if you don't have a pet shop, if you don't have a location of your own, which is self-owned, then you.
Mr. Sanjeev, I'm interrupting here because we're losing you in between. Just to save the bandwidth, do you want to switch off your camera? We're losing you, sir. We're losing
But
you.
Don't rent.
No.
So you do not.
No, we completely lost you, sir. Can't hear you. We're completely losing you, sir. Why don't you switch off your camera and then speak, please?
So should I turn my camera?
Yes. It'll save some bandwidth. Let's see. So yes, Mr. Sanjeev, you can restart. You were talking about some operational expenses, please.
Okay. So what I was saying is, obviously put your capital expenditures on one side and then see कि कितना पैसा आप कमा रहे हैं, कितना पैसा खर्चा हो रहा है. With that element, obviously, don't rent out spaces which are very, very expensive. Don't have to be in main moving footfall markets. Wherever a road can reach, wherever a car can reach, you will get the clientele through our brands. So 250, 300, 350 square location will vary from various cities to the other cities. But then again, in all cities, these locations are available at the pricing which I'm going to be saying. So in some cities, it will be right from about 10,000-15,000 rupee onwards. But then again, to be fair to the equation that we'll be discussing, let's put it at 30,000 rupees of an average. Yeah. So 30,000 rupees, let's say, is your rental. Don't go, I mean, you can go up to about 50,000 rupees also. You can go up a little higher also. But then again, your overheads obviously get increased. And it takes a little bit longer to have more profits. Profits you'll have anyways, whatever location you are. But then again, it'll take more time. So rentals, let's put it at 30 with a trained certified groomer from our side. Depending on your city, anywhere about 20 to 25,000 rupees or 18 to 25,000 rupees. Salaries which are there with our groomers range up to about 70, 80,000 also. But then again, those are the more experienced ones. Wherein your groomer, a person, put it at an average of about 20,000 rupees and maybe a few thousands for a place to stay. So maybe just for the sake of it, put it at 25. Both things put together that you're providing a space. Space in small towns is just about 2,000, 3,000 rupees. You don't have to spend too much as it's a displacement cost. So obviously we suggest that you provide a space to stay. So 30, 25, we are at 55. With that, you'll need a small, you'll need a helper, which is a local person. So about 8, 10, 12,000 rupees, you get a helper. So with these two people, the initial element of grooming salon is taken care of. The helper can be a multi-purpose person who will be helping out the groomer when the grooming is on and otherwise helping out in the pet shop and other elements related to the pet shop. With this, if at all you are running the place yourself, then you're managing the counter. Or otherwise, then you will have to employ a person. So in your case scenario, you have to see how you are going about it. Let's say you are employing a person to, take care of the counter, which is the cash counter and the pet shop. Then add another 15K you don't have to have a graduate or an educated person, only somebody who can use a calculator and do the maths. That's about it. So another 15,000 over there. So that gets added up. Now, if at all you are in a grade 2, grade 3 city, you're paying us a royalty fee. So that's an overhead for you. That's a 5,000 rupees over there. 5,000 rupees, let's say another, you can put for electricity, water, basic expenses, and another 5,000 rupees for the consumables. Will reach about 80 to 90,000 rupees, depending on the city and the space that you have taken, roughly. So definitely under a lakh of rupees. But Saras would have done the maths over there. Am I right in the number, in the total?
Yes, absolutely. So it's almost a lakh of rupees. Just to add some more miscellaneous could be a lakh of rupees coming there.
Yeah. So about a lakh of rupees is your expense. And now coming to the profitability. So what I can't do over here, normally I end up asking, if at all you are in a city, what is, according to the space and according to the element you're getting into this, what is your number is what I always ask of a footfall for grooming. But here, the typical example that we take, a lot of times we are told about 8, 10, 12, 5, 6. Majority of the people will always end up saying a conservative number of about 5 to 6 at least. Yeah. But that also for basic calculation purposes, let's put it at 2 pets a day. So across India, across the metros, non-metros, all locations, what we have realized over a period of time, that the normal spend between, let's say, 400 rupees to about 20,000, 27 or 3,000 rupees, an average spend of about 1,500 rupees per pet is there. That also, for calculation purposes, let's put it at 1,200 rupees. So 2 pets a day, 26 working days with 1 weekly off, you are looking at 52,000, you're looking at 52 pets over there. And an average, as we have worked out, roughly about 62,000 plus, but let's just take it as 60,000 rupees at this point of time, yeah, for calculation purposes. So when I say 2 pets is 60,000, 4 pets is obviously 1,20,000 and so on and so forth, yeah. So going with the example that you're getting only 2 pets a day, and if at all you have a pet shop, you will be easily able to churn around 2.5 lakh rupees worth of products in the initial period, in the initial first 5-6 months, you'll be able to sell that much easily. And with a 35% margin over there, you know the number. But we'll just take a lakh of rupees sale at a base level. Hamisha, let's not always, I am a person who will never talk about green sides and the pasture which are greener. We always have to see the lesser side, or what are the minuses that can happen. So 1 lakh रुपए का लेते हैं. So 1 lakh rupees 35,000. Okay, is your margin over there? 5% आपने discount कर दिया, 30,000 ले लेते हैं, right? So 60,000 and 30,000, you're at 90,000 in the first 1 month of operations. So when I say an average expense of about 85 to a lakh of rupees or expenses, it's an average of about 90,000. You're breaking even within the first 1 to 3 months. Yeah, because any business, everybody says, business karna hai to thoda sa to leke chalna hai, accountability element. So we can always say maximum it will take 2-3 months to settle down. But then again, it surely happens within the first few times only, because there are other earners and other sources that you can make income from besides these two, as I mentioned. We have not talked about bakery. We have not talked about pet walking services, other services that will get attached. They will always add more revenue. But yes, the moment these 2 pets become 4 pets, that 60,000 rupees is your profit. When it's 6 pets, the 120 is your profit. So within the first, so the larger aspect also, I will connect with this and answer. Within the first 6 months, we will surely be saying that, you'll be making nothing less than about a 50,000 rupees to a lakh of rupees of profits. Yeah, I'm not about the sales. So profits is going to be easily happening in that range. And in the next 3 to 4 years thereon, it will easily be about 5 to 7 lakh rupees of profits every month. Yeah, but then again, this does not mean that, we put the number in an Excel sheet and see that after 15 years, it's going to be an X amount. No, there's always a saturation point, and each location which will reach the maximum in a 4-5 year period. And yes, an average income of, as I've said, a little bit of a 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees here and there can happen. But yes, 5 to 7 lakhs. And the stretch could be maximum 7 to 10 lakh rupees from one location. The larger location, larger profits, larger.
Thank you, Mr. Sanjeev. Although we are so much flooded with a lot of questions, but in favor of time, I would not be able to take a lot of them. But a quick one, of course, Mr. Ajay is asking, what about the trained employees? Of course, yes, Mr. Ajay, it becomes the responsibility of Mr. Sanjeev. Rather, it was there in the deck that all the people are called in the head office, probably the training center in Delhi itself, because that covers the larger variants of all the pets that somebody can really get trained. Yes, we have outlets in Mumbai, and probably that's one of the areas that we will expand. So, friends, I just call out my number, which is a hotline number, which is 97176 83838. I repeat, 97176 83838.
Can't hear you.
Address, which is feedback@franchiseindia.in. Feedback@franchiseindia.in is our email address, and where we'll be more than happy to hook you together. So, friends who are looking for opportunity, we Franchise India, we can get in touch with you and get the bridge over, where a one-on-one conversation, the store visits that you have can also be done. Mr. Sanjeev, can you also tell us the stores which are in Delhi? I see a couple of questions coming up. A lot of people have joined from Delhi.
Delhi, our cell phone locations, we have 5 of them. And as I said, 4 of them are here in Delhi NCR, and 1 is in Bombay. So in Delhi, our locations are there in Niti Bagh. The Niti Bagh one is a flagship store. That's where we started from. Then we are there in East of Kailash, Vasant Kunj, and Noida. And rest, we have our franchisees in Faridabad, Gurgaon, Ghaziabad, Indrapuram, Rajnagar Extension, Ram Vihar, and Mayur Vihar.
Okay. Absolutely. Thank you, sir. And Mr. Jeevan, I see that you're really interested for this part, especially for regions of Raipur, also and Nagpur. So yes, Mr. Jeevan, our key account manager will just get in touch with you and help you understand, explore more. Lovely session, although the interest is still building up, but again, in favor of time, always the good things have to come to an end. So with that, we would like to end this webinar today, and with a promise that whoever has contacted us, we'll get back to you and get in touch with Mr. Sanjeev as well. Mr. Sanjeev, what a wonderful opportunity and very low investment, but a very different business opportunity that you really brought today. Business wahi, jo de ROI sahi is what our tagline is, and you are absolutely fulfilling them. With that, thank you all. Thank you for joining us. And don't forget to book your special dates, which is on 15th and 16th of June, or sorry, July, where the world is coming here. Do book yourself. Keep yourself free to come to Pragati Maidan, the world's largest fair on the business will happen there. And I'm sure Mr. Sanjeev would also be present there, where he'll be all flooded with a lot of people around with him. Thank you all. Have the best
Yes.
day.